Okay, tonight we're going to talk about the UFC fight 118, and we're going to interview Jesse Brown. Jesse, the first question that I have for you is, what was your pick of the fight for the night?
Fight of the night, I think it had to go to Marcus Davis versus Nate Diaz. That was a very competitive fight, back and forth. Both guys showed a lot of heart, determination. I like that it was mostly stand-up, but it also became a battle on the ground too. And Davis, what a strong competitor and a tough guy. He really took a beating. His eyes started swelling up. I bet he could just barely see out of it, and he decided to keep going all 3 rounds. You know, both of them were almost equal on the stand-up, except that Nate Diaz had a reach advantage that he utilized very well. He kept sticking out that jab and just popping and continuously hitting the eye of Marcus Davis, irritating it and causing it to swell up real bad. But it came down to a 3rd round finish by Nate Diaz. He beat him up a little bit and then got him on the ground and was able to submit him. And an excellent finish for Nate. Overall, a great fight. Lots of exciting moments, lots of hits, and very brutal, but definitely entertaining. So I got to give that fight of the night.
What do you think of the Frankie Edgar performance?
Frankie Edgar's performance was amazing. He was fantastic. This guy is so light on his feet and quick with his hands and head movement. Everything about him is just, it's excellent. Performance-wise, he has a ton of energy. It's almost unparalleled. He just, every single time he beat BJ to the punch, he was always quicker with the jab or quicker with a cross. BJ couldn't do anything about it. And Edgar, even on the ground, the takedowns and the escapes were so swift. I was really impressed by Frankie. I think he did better than he did last time even, and definitely proved that he's better than BJ Penn and probably the best guy in the world at 155 pounds right now.
Right. Well, do you believe that Gray Maynard earned a title shot in this fight?
Gray Maynard fought Kenny Florian, and once again he kind of squeaked out a decision win, as he's been known for. He's a good, strong wrestler, and I like the guy. He's undefeated right now, you know, but he doesn't do a whole lot to get the victory, and he doesn't impress. He just kind of sticks to the same routine. Even if you look at his previous fights, his previous wins, it was a lot of stand-up, mostly just boxing against guys like Roger Huerta. He didn't rely on his wrestling that much. It's a pretty good thing, but you know, he just doesn't finish guys in great fashion. And I think that's a big criticism for him. No telling how well he will do against most of the top guys. Like, how well will he do against BJ Penn? We've already seen him beat Edgar once, but I don't know if he'll be able to do it again. It could be really close. Yeah, I'm still not impressed with Maynard, but he gets the title shot anyway. I think he's overdue for it. Not really based on this performance, but based on the amount of wins he's been able to pile up.
Why about the Randy Couture fight? Was this fight too easy for Randy?
I don't think it was too easy for Randy. Randy takes everything as a challenge, really prepares himself, and that's why he looks so impressive. I mean, he made it look easy, but honestly, there's a lot of room for error, and he could have just as easily have been beaten. If it was anybody else who had taken the fight less seriously, they could have been beaten. But because of Randy's approach and his strategy, he does so excellently. He does really well. And like I said, anybody else probably would have had a hard time with Toney. And because he almost had the perfect strategy, using that low single leg takedown so that it wasn't a chance he would get hit, and he used it early on. You know, anybody else probably wouldn't have came up with that strategy and could have gotten rocked really hard by Toney. So no, I don't think it was too easy for Randy. It was more about the strategy side, which was the challenge.
Okay, well, James Toney, do you think he should have another chance to compete in the MMA?
If he really wanted to, I think he should be given one, but I think it would be wise for him not to, and there's really not a point to it. He doesn't need to pursue an MMA career. He's already got a boxing world title right now. He's a reigning champion of boxing. He's got a great name for himself in boxing. You know, he earned a pretty good paycheck, and I guess he can always fall back on MMA if he has to, but for the most part, no, I don't think he should compete in MMA anymore.
How about Randy Couture? Who do you think this next fight should be with?
What's next for Randy? I'd like to see Randy fight Rich Franklin. I think that'd be a pretty good matchup. Rich is coming off that win over Chuck Liddell not that long ago, and if he heals his arm, he had a broken arm. If he heals from that fairly quickly, he should be ready in time to fight Randy in maybe 6 months or so. And I think Rich Franklin is very well rounded and would make a tough opponent for Randy, so I look forward to that fight if it happens, or it probably won't.
What do you think of the overall entertainment value of this UFC fight?
This one I think is very entertaining. We had, you know, Marcus Davis, Nate Diaz right off the bat. That was excitement, all 3 rounds, very competitive. Even though the Frankie Edgar versus BJ Penn fight was very one-sided, there was action throughout the whole thing, and you never know. You never know for sure if BJ was going to pull off an upset in the later rounds. So that was intriguing, interesting fight. Overall, a great night. Lots of variety and memorable moments. I really enjoyed it.
Would you say this is the highest rating fight ever, or how would you place it? The number 3 or 4, or?
No, it wasn't all that great because the main event was sort of lacking, where it was one-sided between Edgar and Penn. Usually we have a more competitive fight in the main event, and Randy Couture versus James Toney was kind of like a sideshow, like a special attraction rather than a highly contested fight which had, you know, a significance behind it, like ranking or on the road to a title shot. Even Gray Maynard and Kenny Florian, which was a #1 contender fight, really wasn't all that interesting. Kind of an even fight, even though Gray did his usual thing. But I can't compare it to the excitement we've seen recently with Rashad Evans versus Rampage Jackson. It was pretty entertaining. I'd say that was more entertaining. Even the Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen, more entertaining.
Well, do you think that this Randy and Toney fight, do you think it drew a lot of people, or what would you say?
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people turned out for it, and a lot of new fans and onlookers. A lot of probably the boxing community was well aware of this one. And I think it opened a lot of eyes. Hopefully it did. So there should be a new group of MMA fans out there. We'll see.